What is up, you guys? It's Brady here. Crazy times are happening here. Maddie and I are actually packing everything up in our apartment because we are moving to Arizona literally in 2 days. So we're packing up a U-Haul tomorrow. And yeah, it's pretty insane. But regardless, we have had some pretty good sessions this week, minus all the stressing about moving across the country and everything like that. And actually, one of my biggest focuses right now is trying to bring up my back. My back has been one of my weaknesses for pretty much as long as I can remember. And although the judges didn't specify that my back was one of my weaknesses on stage, I still feel like, especially in men's physique, the back is really your chance to differentiate yourself from the rest of the competitors. Because when you think about it, in men's physique, you really do only get like 2 poses. It's not like in bodybuilding where you have like 10 different poses to try to master and figure out how to pose a certain way to look best for your physique. In men's physique, you get 2 shots at it to make it as good as possible. And most people can get away with a solid front just simply from ab genetics or whatever it may be. You know, I'm pretty confident in like my shoulders, and I definitely need to bring up like certain areas like my chest and everything. But when you face the curtains and the back is facing the judges, that's when a lot is determined. That's when, you know, you can't hide anything in that situation. So I'm definitely trying to bring up my back. And even to guys out there who aren't really necessarily competing, having like a big back definitely just makes you look way manlier and like you really know what you're doing in the gym. So, you know, I recently did post a back transformation video. Go check that out if you haven't seen that already. But I thought it'd be cool to go through my back workout that I had this week. And it actually is the same workout I've been doing this entire training block. Now on my Instagram, I did film it and put it on my story. So if you're not following me on Instagram, you definitely should, because that's where I think you're gonna get like some of the most value out of things that like I share, like my workouts or workout tips, lifting, nutrition, all that stuff. So definitely follow me on Instagram. But I put this workout on my Instagram story, and now here on YouTube, it kind of gives me the chance to like expound on it and say why I do what I do, give you tips that you can use in the gym and start seeing results ASAP, and also just like how to do certain movements. And I think you'll find that I do a few kind of unique movements when it comes to training my back. So I'm gonna explain like why I do those. So yeah, let's get into this. I'm literally gonna just watch the videos here on my phone, and you're gonna see what I'm saying and I'll talk about it. All right, so starting this back workout, I do wanna point out I did train back and triceps and abs in the same day, but this is just the back portion of the workout. Now, I typically will start with some sort of pull down or to work on my lats, but in this workout, I decided to do my row movements, which are focused on your scapular retractors, basically your mid traps, rhomboids, those muscle groups. I decided to do that just because I wanted to switch it up, honestly. I do try to group them together. So first I will train either my scapular retractors and then I will train like my lats, or I'll do my lats and then my scapular retractors. I don't really like flip-flop too much because personally I want to be able to just focus in on like one certain muscle group at a time before I move on to the next. So keep that in mind when you're training your back as well. Now this first movement I did, it's a single arm machine row, but I do it on the seated cable machine row, and you can kind of tell, but rather than sitting down like you're supposed to, I actually stand up. I use my foot on the typical like foot spot, I guess you can call it, for like leverage, and then I keep my other leg against the bench, and whatever it is, just this slight incline angle of that row, it just hits the spot, man. Like that's all I can really say. I think it fits the angle of the muscle, specifically the mid traps, very well. I bring back my elbow at a roughly 45-degree angle. All I'm thinking about here is range of motion. So I let the weight pull my shoulder forward, because with that, the scapula is gonna come with the shoulder, and that's when you're gonna stretch your middle trap the most. And then you bring back your scapula. Think about bringing your shoulder blade back and then towards your spine, and that's gonna shorten your scapular retractors, and that's literally like how you work your middle trap. Like there's no other way around it, you know. Your middle trap is a huge muscle group and it's a scapular retractor, so if you're not properly getting that range of motion, you're not gonna work it. It's that simple. And when you do grow a giant like middle back like that, I mean, that's what adds like, I think, the thickness to the back. You know, your lats are gonna give you the width, but then your traps and your rhomboids and those muscles on the inside are gonna make it thicker. So moving on to the next exercise, then I did a seated row, and you can tell I did a slightly bit like a wider grip row. Sometimes I'll go even a little bit wider, but I like the wide grip because looking at EKG research and things like that, you'll notice that the wider the grip, the more middle back you'll use typically, because it helps, just the line of pull, it helps you work those scapular retractors a little bit better than the closer grip. This can be pretty individualized. So what I personally do is I switch it up, but you should definitely just kind of like try them out and see which one works best for you. Definitely try the wide grip though. Same thing here, just range of motion. I'm letting the weight pull my shoulders forward. I'm bringing back my shoulder blades closer to my spine. You also notice I use the Cobra grips, also Versa grips is another brand of them. They're basically the same thing. These I just use to kind of eliminate my grip from failing, so it's not in the equation. If my grip isn't in the equation, I can do more reps and focus the weight on my back rather than like just trying to hold on. All right, so moving on to the next exercise after that. After those 2 row movements, doing about 3 sets each, so about six sets total on my middle back, I went and moved on to my lats. Started with just a standard lat pull down. You'll notice my grip is a little wider than shoulder width, but it's not outrageously wide to the point where I'm not even getting as much range of motion. And basically, yeah, same thing here is range of motion. You'll see at the top of the movement, I let the weight pull my shoulders forward because that's gonna stretch your lats. And then I bring down, I try to touch my chest. You don't actually have to touch your chest with the bar, but just think about that as kind of like, you know, a mental cue to try to get as much range of motion as you can out of your lats. And you can see very controlled here. I'm not even using that much weight, but I guess the difference here is I'm not using my ego at all. I'm literally letting my lats do the pulling, and it gets really hard, really fast, and that's how you grow. Okay, so moving on, I did a close grip lat pull down. And so this one, you can see I'm using the same bar, and sometimes I'll actually use like the V bar, but in this case, I just wanted to try it out with the same bar. And when I do this, I kind of turn it into a pull down slash like row hybrid movement, if that makes sense, because I am leaning back a little bit. So I am slightly rowing in a sense, but I'm also pulling down. It's literally like a hybrid movement, and you can just see by watching it, I'm kind of bending backwards a little bit. And when I do this, I personally am targeting my inner lower lats now, and I notice adding a little bit of retraction into it by rowing while doing the pull down helps me hit that spot. And what that's gonna do is grow that Christmas tree look on the inner lower back. And you'll notice when guys are like have jacked backs, they have like these giant rods in the center of their back. And part of that is their traps, but the other part is their inner lats are so developed by doing movements like this. So that's how you develop those like giant rods and also the Christmas tree in your lower back. So after this, I did a lat push down. This is the worst angle ever, I realize that, but at least you can still see the range of motion that I have here on the lat push down. I'm standing up, I'm letting all the stretch be in my lats before pushing down using my lats and then bringing the bar into my body and squeezing. This is like, honestly, I've been having this movement in my lat workout since, I don't know, years now. And I do have like pretty wide lats, and I would definitely credit part of it to doing this movement. It's a phenomenal exercise and something that I feel my lats working very, very well in. So the next movement, this was kind of just to focus on more of like the middle upper traps. And I typically don't like doing shrugs that much. So I do this movement, which is a bit of a cable row shrug hybrid movement. Again, I'm doing kind of weird exercises, but they're exercises that make sense biomechanically speaking. And so yeah, just watching this exercise, I'm essentially just thinking pulling up with my upper traps and kind of rowing. And then what I'll do is I'll finish off the set by I'll step closer to the cables, and then I'll literally just do a cable shrug just to kind of like burn out the upper traps. And it works pretty well for me. You could also try like the Smith machine shrugs and things like that. I think those are great exercises too. But this one helps me just with the range of motion and the control using the cables rather than like the Smith machine or like a dumbbell shrug or barbell shrug. And so that's actually my entire back workout right there. Now altogether, I'll do roughly 12, maybe 14 sets total, which is pushing it quite a bit because I do that twice a week. So we're looking at, 24, maybe 26-ish sets per week of back. Now keep in mind, this is mixed up pretty well between my retractors and my lats. So it's not like I'm hammering one specific muscle group like too much. If I were to do like that many sets of just lats, that'd just be outrageous and definitely would be too much. But anyway, guys, yes, that right there is my back workout. Give it a shot. Let me know if you like it in the comments below, and let me know just what you think in general of this workout. Thank you guys so much though, and make sure to like this video. And honestly, I'm just so excited because the next video I post, I'm gonna be living in Arizona. It's gonna be the first video I make in Arizona. So much good content is to come. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. But we'll see you in the next video. Peace out.